Have you ever wondered why don't others respect you? And more importantly, what have you done to protect your own value? Hello everyone, welcome to Stoic Lessons. Today we'll explore how to deal with rudeness and disrespect, not only to safeguard your self-esteem but also to cultivate resilience and self-control in every situation. Life is full of challenges, and one of them is facing people who cross boundaries. Whether they're colleagues, friends, or even family members, the key is not to avoid them but to assert your value and maintain your composure. In this video, we'll go through 9 behaviors that a self-respecting person would never tolerate. This isn't just about protecting yourself, but is also part of the journey to building a meaningful life. If you enjoy deep and insightful content like this, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any lessons. Now, let's get started. Number 1, being falsely accused. As someone with self-respect, you understand your worth and dignity. Being falsely accused is not only an insult but also an unacceptable act of injustice. Imagine being at work, and a colleague accuses you of making a mistake in an important project, even though you had no involvement in it. Instead of staying silent or letting the accusation tarnish your reputation, what would you do? A self-respecting person would face the situation directly and handle it calmly but firmly. First, they would gather evidence to prove their innocence, such as emails, reports, or related documents. Then, they would present the truth to their manager or team, clarifying that the accusations are baseless. Throughout this process, they remain composed, not letting emotions take over or responding negatively to the accuser. Instead of criticizing, they focus on resolving the issue fairly and professionally. This action not only protects personal honor but also demonstrates strength, integrity, and dignity. By confronting false accusations with determination and clarity, they set a standard for respect and accountability in relationships with others. Number 2, non-constructive criticism. A self-respecting person understands that constructive criticism is a valuable tool. Sincere feedback helps them identify weaknesses, creating opportunities for growth and self-improvement. Such feedback comes from good intentions, focusing on issues rather than targeting the person. However, not all criticism is constructive. Non-constructive criticism often aims to belittle others, harm their morale, and sow doubt about their abilities. Imagine you're presenting a project you've spent significant time and effort on. Instead of receiving useful feedback, a colleague dismissively remarks, "This project is terrible, it's bound to fail." As someone with self-respect, you wouldn't let such unkind comments affect your sense of self-worth. You would calmly assess whether the criticism contains any helpful insights. If not, you'd confidently disregard it, refusing to let meaningless remarks shake your confidence. Receiving non-constructive criticism without proper handling can lead to negative consequences. It may cause self-doubt, reduce confidence, and even lead to anxiety or depression. Over time, these negative thoughts can sap motivation and hinder personal growth. Therefore, a self-respecting person not only rejects unwarranted criticism but also constantly reminds themselves that their value is not dependent on others' negative opinions. They choose to focus on constructive, positive aspects and continue to grow stronger. Number 3, unreasonable anger. Unreasonable anger often stems from mistaken assumptions, distorted perceptions, or unrealistic beliefs. It usually reflects insecurity or frustration and can quickly turn into toxic behavior, creating a tense and hostile atmosphere. A self-respecting person never allows themselves to get swept up in such anger. They understand that others' anger is not a measure of their worth, and that there's no reason to lower their dignity in response to unjustified behavior. Imagine you're working in a team, and a member becomes angry at you simply because they misunderstood their role or responsibilities. Instead of feeling hurt or passively trying to placate them, a self-respecting person would respond calmly yet firmly, "I understand you're upset, but the way you're speaking isn't helping us solve the issue. Let's focus on finding a solution instead of dwelling on negative emotions." They establish clear boundaries and affirm that, while they empathize with others' feelings, they will not tolerate toxic or disrespectful behavior. This assertive attitude not only protects them from emotional attacks but also sends a clear message: I deserve respect, and I won't let anyone violate that. As a result, self-respecting individuals maintain their composure, focus on solutions, and uphold their dignity in any situation. Number 4. Dishonesty. Whether it's blatant lies or simply concealing the truth, dishonesty always brings negative consequences not just for the liar but also for those deceived. This behavior often stems from fear, such as fear of punishment or rejection. Sometimes, people lie to save face or make themselves look better in the eyes of others. The sad reality is that dishonesty rarely solves problems. Instead, it often creates more severe consequences than the truth. Lies, no matter how small, have the potential to destroy relationships, erode trust, and cause irreparable harm. A self-respecting person never tolerates dishonesty in any form. They value honesty as a core principle, not only because it is the foundation of every lasting relationship, but also because they possess strong moral awareness and live by the principles they uphold. Imagine discovering that a close friend has concealed an important truth that directly affects you. Instead of avoiding or ignoring the issue, a self-respecting person would confront it directly. They would ask clearly and straightforwardly, "Why didn't you tell me the truth? I always value honesty in our relationship." By addressing the issue, they not only establish boundaries for unacceptable behavior, but also open the door to rebuilding trust, provided the other party is willing to change and make amends. Self-respecting individuals understand that honesty can sometimes be painful, but it is always the right path. They choose to face the truth rather than live in deception and maintain their dignity by never compromising on integrity. Number 5. Manipulation and control. Control or manipulation manifests as efforts to influence, restrict, or impose on someone else's actions, decisions, and choices. This is not only disrespectful but also an infringement on personal freedom. A self-respecting person never tolerates manipulation or control because they understand that no one has the right to dictate how they live. Every individual deserves the freedom to choose their own path without being bound by someone else's will or desires. As Carl Rogers, a humanistic psychologist, once said, "When I view myself as a person with the freedom to choose and take responsibility, I become stronger." Self-respecting individuals embody this principle in their lives. They not only reject manipulation but also affirm their value by making independent decisions. By steadfastly protecting their personal freedom, they build a life based on autonomy and dignity. They send a clear message: no one has the right to control my life except me. Number 6. Excessive demands. Unreasonable demands are those that exceed practical capabilities, conflict with personal values, or violate boundaries that someone has set. Such demands not only drain time and resources but also lead to physical and emotional exhaustion. A self-respecting person will never accept demands that cross their limits. They are keenly aware of the value of their time and energy and understand that these resources must be used wisely to pursue meaningful goals aligned with their values. As renowned psychologist Nathaniel Branden said, self-esteem begins with setting and protecting one's boundaries. A self-respecting individual evaluates requests based on their reasonableness and significance. If a demand conflicts with personal priorities or harms their life balance, they confidently say no firmly yet respectfully. They feel no guilt in rejecting inappropriate demands because they understand that maintaining their boundaries is not only about self-protection but also a way to foster healthy relationships built on mutual respect. Number 7. Injustice through double standards. Double standards represent injustice, occurring when two similar situations are treated differently. This not only creates an unequal environment but also makes those subjected to unfair treatment feel inferior and lose confidence in their worth. Moreover, double standards often lead to discrimination, fostering negative attitudes and behaviors, and even damaging relationships. An environment rife with double standards doesn't just harm individuals, but also weakens the cohesion of a community or organization. A self-respecting person never accepts the existence of double standards. They understand that no one has the right to impose a standard on others while failing to follow it themselves. As Mahatma Gandhi said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." A self-respecting individual will actively stand up to defend fairness and call out double standards when they arise. They won't hesitate to say, "I disagree with this approach because it is inconsistent and lacks fairness." By maintaining their stance and acting on principles of justice, they not only protect their own rights, but also contribute to creating a more respectful and equitable environment for everyone. Number 8. Invasion of privacy. Privacy invasions can stem from various motives, ranging from unwarranted curiosity to the belief that one has the right to access someone else's personal information. However, regardless of the reason, such behavior crosses acceptable boundaries and is a clear sign of disrespect. An invasion of privacy not only breaks personal boundaries but also erodes trust in relationships. It can leave the person whose privacy has been violated feeling hurt, insecure, and even unsafe in their environment. A self-respecting individual understands that privacy is an essential component of dignity and personal freedom. They know how to set and protect their boundaries. As Brené Brown, a renowned researcher on vulnerability and connection, once said, "Boundaries are the courage to love ourselves, even when it means disappointing others." When confronted with an invasion of privacy, they are not afraid to speak up to defend their limits. They might politely yet firmly say, "I appreciate your concern, but I'm not comfortable sharing that." By maintaining their stance, they not only protect their privacy, but also emphasize that healthy relationships must be built on mutual respect and trust. They continually remind themselves and others, everyone deserves to have their privacy respected. Number 9. Exploitation. Exploitation is a harmful behavior where someone deliberately takes advantage of another person's weaknesses, kindness, or trust to benefit themselves. This is not only disrespectful, but also a condemnable act that harms the emotional well-being and relationships between individuals. A self-respecting person knows their worth and understands that they have the right to protect their interests and personal boundaries. They never accept being exploited, regardless of the circumstances. As Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "No one can harm you unless you allow it." A self-respecting individual embraces this mindset, recognizing that they have the power to control how they respond and protect themselves from manipulative behavior. When they notice they are being exploited, they do not shy away but address the issue decisively. They might say clearly yet firmly, "I value our relationship, but I cannot continue if it isn't based on fairness and mutual respect." A self-respecting person understands that helping others is admirable, but it must come from a place of willingness and sincerity, not manipulation or coercion. By defending their boundaries and asserting their value, they ensure that all their relationships are built on a foundation of respect and fairness. Self-respect is the cornerstone of a healthy, autonomous, and balanced life. The things we choose to accept or reject not only shape how others treat us, but also deeply affect our mental well-being and sense of self-worth. Always cherish and protect your value. Never compromise on what harms your dignity or the boundaries you've set. As Marcus Aurelius, the famous Stoic philosopher, wrote, "Above all, respect yourself, for your value does not depend on how others see you." Live true to your values and principles, and you will create a life worth living, one full of meaning and genuine respect from both yourself and others.